Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So first and foremost, to save any confusion and to cut out anybody misinterpreting what we're saying with the title, we believe it's the beginning of the end of the dive meta. There are plenty of things to suggest why this may go this way in this video, but I must stress that the concept composition of dive isn't going anywhere. It's more the current meta that you exclusively just play dive that is going to be taking a back seat. Competition for these slots is up for grabs now with multiple heroes, and we're going to talk about why dive isn't going to be the flavor of the month anymore, and also what may replace it.
First, let's talk about a potential team lineup that the Koreans have been running in World Cup scrims. It's hard to gauge how serious the team lineups were actually meant to be, or if people were just trying stuff out, but Flower and Co ran the likes of Junkrat, Mei and Reaper against dive comps with moderate success, with Reaper already receiving changes that are on the live servers and Junkrat expecting similar changes soon too. We do feel that it's certainly not unlikely to see these heroes increase in popularity. The whole idea around a composition which involves Reinhardt, Zarya, Junkrat, Reaper and Ana is that it shuts down the tank play of D.Va and Winston. D.Va cannot eat up all the damage thrown at her, with Reaper getting close and Junkrat spamming from a distance, and Winston will get eaten alive once he dives in. We've all seen Deathball in action and know what it is at this point, and a team like this doesn't get any more Deathball-y than this. But considering this composition was played before the Zarya changes went through, and of course any Junkrat changes might go through, suggests to me that we found a new weakness for dive.
The changes on the face of it have done exactly what Blizzard want them to do. They've nerfed dive without touching any elements of their gameplay and not nerfing any heroes that are in the dive composition. And for a mix of minor balance changes and sheer force of will from the pros, it does seem like the validity of running Reinhardt and Zarya, for example, is back up again. There is an element of surprise and a little worry with how effective these changes have been straight off the bat. Watching pros on Twitch and seeing Reinhardt already back into these games is a real pleasant surprise for somebody that plays him, but also it's nice that it really shows how minute these buffs are to these heroes and how quickly players have actually flocked back to him, because they're viable and some people really enjoy playing these heroes as well, such as Zarya. The worry is of course that whatever meta we end up with next will follow the same pattern as triple tanks and of course dive, that will play this meta for a while and eventually get bored, start complaining, demand changes, and we're sort of back at square one again. Also, whilst the meta is a lot more diverse and the grief and punishment more strict, I'm still seeing a good amount of players still not satisfied with their ranked experience because of varied reasons. When it comes to that, I do expect when Season 6 comes around at the start of September, the players might come back to the game, will have a nice refreshed start to Overwatch, and I'm hoping there's some things in Season 6 that just make the ranked experience a little bit more interesting and less grindy. But in short, I wouldn't be worried to see any of the World Cup games still running dive. I wouldn't worry if dive was still a valid composition to run, because I definitely get the feeling from what we've seen so far that the days of mirror comped Winston, D.Va, Zen, Lucia, Tracer and Genji are well on their way out.
Speaking of heroes, I do finally want to go over some winners and losers of the current patch and potentially the Hog, Junkrat, maybe even Mercy changes coming up. Doomfist is going to work perfectly with any anti-dive Deathball lineup, so expect to see him a lot. McCree's buff has made him a lot more viable in place of Soldier, who I think some of us are just bored of right now. Reaper will feel right at home with a Deathball lineup alongside Junkrat, Mei and Reinhardt. Speaking of Junkrat, if these changes are a success, expect to see him become, and I can't believe we're saying this, meta. Reinhardt is coming back at the moment and Rodok potentially as well depending on his changes. Winston is going to have a much tougher time at the moment but will still be viable. Finally, with supports, expect the majority of them to be completely viable to play. Ana can work super well with Deathball and Sen works well with Dive. With any luck, we'll have a good mix of compositions, strategies, tempos and teams that will make Overwatch much more fun to play, and much more than just who can play Dive better.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the dives days are numbered? Do you still think it's going to be a valid, viable strategy that players can use? Or do you expect that these changes, whilst they've been good to bring people back, aren't solving the major problem that is this kind of overpowered composition? Let us know below, and until next time, take care. We'll see you then.